Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 450.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And it is, I'm taking your thunder, August 22nd, 2019. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les.
What are you going to say now?
It's my sister's birthday today.
Aw, happy birthday, Helen.
She is 35.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's exciting for Helen.
She got a new phone for her birthday from me because I just have her and Kobe are both on the same plan.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
Yep.
Very cool. Would you like to go first, friend, or would you like me to go first?
Doesn't make any difference to me.
Okay. I just messed something up on the sock, so I'm going to let you go first if you don't mind.
Sure.
I got some weird things happening.
I am actively working on two things. One of them is the Il Grande Favorito, which is a just a sort of shapeless, loose, comfy sweater.
It's a top-down raglan, right?
It is. It's a top-down raglan. It's got this little simple, like pearl stitch detail.
Yeah.
Where the shaping happens.
Well, that's pretty cool.
And I just split for the arms a few rows back.
Oh, so now you're just going round and round and round?
Yep. So
Does it have any waist shaping?
No.
No, because it's oversized.
You knit until it's like 14 inches long, and then there's some, which I'll probably knit it a little bit longer than that, and then there's some, a little bit of shaping to make it longer in the back. Oh. Not much, just a little bit.
Like short row shaping?
Yeah.
Or other? Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I do like a little bit longer in the back.
And this was, the back of the neck was the same way. There was some shaping in the back of the neck as well. So this is out of some random local wool I got when I lived in New Jersey.
It was local to you in Jersey.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's from a sheep named Merlin, and it's been knit and ripped out once. Well, not all of it, but part of it.
What was it before?
This cabled, I think it was called the Livingston cardigan.
Oh, yeah.
But it was like this cabled.
Isn't that an Amy Christophers?
I don't remember.
Like.
Maybe.
Huh.
But, yeah, I knit part of a cardigan with it back in Jersey. I don't think I finished it. I can't remember for sure, but
you ripped it all out.
I did. I ripped it out because I ended up I believe it was because the gauge was too tight and it really wasn't wearable because it wasn't as drapey as it should have been.
Yeah.
You know, it was too stiff, so I knitted it too tight of a gauge, I guess. So anyway, that is one thing that I'm knitting, and I'm knitting this on, I believe, 11s. Yep, 8mm needles.
That's amazing.
It's an Aran weight yarn, roughly. But yeah, it's nice. It's soft. It's not like angel hair baby soft, but it's, you know, it's a nice soft, you know, wool.
Yeah, it's like a Romney almost or something.
So I like it.
Like a Cascade 220 in feel.
And it was supporting the local economy at the time, so that made me happy. I also last night ripped out what I had cast on of the Isolde Sweater Club. Also, this is the first sweater of her club.
Yeah, apparently it started in the summer. Yeah, was the first one. So are there going to be other ones this year, or is it like one per year?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I imagine she'll email me, or, you know, us, or whatever, when it's time.
Yeah.
But I had cast on the Inverleith, and I'd only gotten like 5 rows past the cast on. And, I feel like I gotta sneeze. But I didn't like the way that the increases were looking, so this is one of Isolde's newest patterns, and it's designed with her new bust shaping model that she's using.
It's extremely size inclusive,
yeah,
right?
so it's designed to have, I believe it's 4 inches of ease, and it goes up in size to 66 3/4 inch. And that's in the A to C cup range. And then if you're D or above, it goes up to 71 inch.
Wow.
Finished circumference. And she has different shaping, whether if you're an A to a C cup or if you're a D or above.
It's a 6 or 7 to 7 inches above these.
So yeah, it's very, very size inclusive. The only complaint I have at the moment is that the increases are different than they are on most patterns. It's a lifted increase system, and you're doing left and right lifted increases, and then on the wrong side you're doing left and right purl lifted increases. And because I knit backwards, it's a little different for me. I had to like figure out how it worked for the stitches that I knit, because otherwise my gauge would be all wonky.
Yeah.
And so at the beginning you're creating this line across the top of the shoulder, and I didn't like how the increases were looking, so I ripped it out. It was only 5 rows.
Yeah.
At like 50 stitches a row or something. And I got past it and then got much further than I had initially, because I actually sat and knitted on it at knit night last night.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm about 20 rows in, something like that. And this is out of Isolde's yarn. It's a base called Sedum, S-E-D-U-M. I'm going to let her in a minute. Not Isolde. She's not scratching at my door, but my dog is.
It's about to thunderstorm here. It's got that feel.
So this is the yarn, and it is it's a 2-ply of 40% merino, 30% linen, and 30% silk. It's a lace weight, and you hold it double to
And so
knit
what are
the
you
garment.
knitting that on? 6s or something? Did you say and I just missed?
No, I think it's 6s or 7s maybe. These are my Addy clicks, and I've almost rubbed it off. Excuse me.
You and I both with the coughs
7s,
today.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know what the millimeter of that is. Excuse me.
Sorry, guys. Oh, I wonder if this has it on there. Nope. Fail.
Yeah, well. Anyway, so this is... I've still got about as far as this to go before the increases stop. And then it'll get joined in the round. So, I'm much happier with how it looks now. It's still a little wonky. Let me show you guys. But I think that once it... Excuse me. I think that once it blocks, it'll be fine. So...
Yeah.
It's a little bit gappy right here.
I think so.
But I think that once it blocks, it's going to kind of...
And I think that yarn looks like it's going to bloom.
Yeah, because it does have kind of a halo on it too. So I'm very nitpicky of my own knitting. So like this line of stitch of holes here looks very large, but then once you give it a yank along that line... Fluff
your swatch.
Yeah, they disappear.
Well, that's good.
So I think it's just an issue of it needs to be blocked.
You could always block it on the cord of those needles.
I could, but I blocked the swatch and it grew about what I expected it to. So
yeah. Well, just if you wanted to see how the line looked.
Yeah, because I haven't done this particular
increase system.
Yeah, this particular type of increases out with those lifted increases. So anyway, that is my knitting, and that's all I've got. Cool. And this thing was pink for so long that now we look blue. The camera's overcompensating, I think.
Aww.
I'm going to go let the dog in because it's about to thunder.
She really wants to come in. I have a couple things on the needles. I'm working on my Desert Vista Dye Works socks in the Color Accents series. I think this is Color Accents Grape. Yep. This is old. It's her Zen Base, which is a superwash sparkle. And it is looking like this. So it's got grays, blacks, and then like a purpley blue.
She doesn't want anything to do with me. She just wants Laura.
She just wants to go run and hide behind. Hi. Well, thank you, baby. Hi, baby.
This is my vicious pit bull.
I can't even remember what side I was on. And then she's done. That's all she wanted. So I'm doing a Wendy Johnson toe-up heel gusset. This is what it looks like knit up. I have to do 1 repeat a day for the rest of the time in order to get this done. Because this is the first sock by the end of the month. And I really want to get that done. So it's going to happen. Hopefully I'll knit on this while I'm here. We'll see how far I can get. When I first sat down, I was on the black. So I've made a 1 stripe increase. So that would be a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stripes a night, which is not undoable. I'm knitting this on size 0 needles. So, which is pretty loose for me on 64 stitch around. And that's living in my Amy Beth Fat Squirrel unicorn bag, which matches my unicorn band-aid today. Because I decided to take off my entire pinky nail.
Just for funsies.
Just for funsies at work today. No worries. The other thing that's gotten some progress, is my sweater.
Stevie.
Yep, Stevie has a body that is complete. And some arms. Well, the sort of arms. I totally misread the pattern. So I just kind of did my own thing. This was originally supposed to be a crop sweater. And I started doing the decorative decreases instead of like 1.5 inches or 2 inches under the underarm. I started the increases around 3 inches, and then I increased every 8th to 10th round. Mostly 8. So my end circumference at the bottom is around 54 inches around. The bust is a 48. This is Barocco Remix. There's the thunder.
Yeah, as she was at the door, she heard the thunder, and she's like, oh, wait.
And Pearl's probably flipping out at my house. She'll be fine. So I like the Remix a lot. It's a dense blend of fibers. It's all recycled fibers. It's a cotton, silk, nylon,
something else.
Nylon, cotton, acrylic, silk, linen blend. 30, 27, 24, 10, 9. And it's not hurting my hands the way that most cotton does. I have 2 whole balls left, so I'm going to do 3/4 sleeves because I want to use up some of the yarn that I have left. I bought 7 balls to begin with.
Are you drunk, Buffy?
The original Stevie was designed to be knit in my size out of like 4.
But it was cropped.
It was cropped. For sleeves, I ordered some Addy Flexi Flips XLs. They're longer than the original Flexi Flips. They have more to grip onto.
Do you have any extras?
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
I have 1.
I thought it came with 3.
Yep. So they look like
it's like
this.
A super short circular needle.
Yep. That you could never knit in the round on because it would be like that. So,
and they've had these out for a while, but the shaft of the needle was shorter.
Yep.
And they were primarily for socks, right?
Yeah. I mean, they sell them in all sizes, but yeah, they also have them in wood as well. We haven't bought those for the tasting room yet. But yeah, I'm enjoying them. I'm enjoying knitting the sleeve on them. It's going back and forth pretty quickly. I have around 60 stitches on these needles. A little bit more. 66. So, they fit nicely. It's doing alright. I have the beginning of my round marked with a Sugar Plum Circus little octopus. He's wee and cute. He's just chilling. So yeah, I'd love to get these done by the end of the month. I just have the sleeves left, so around 8 inches, and a collar to do. I'm trying to finish off things this month.
Are you?
So that's kind of been
trying
the theme.
to finish that for Stash or
no Stash on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
So that's in like 2 days.
Okay.
I'm just trying to a new house cup term starts September 1st. So this month I've been trying to clear off as many things as I could. The only new things that I cast on were baby items, and then these socks for Desert Vista Dye Works. So it's been a lot of like it's been a finishing heavy month versus a starting things heavy month. This is also living in a fat squirrel bag. And then the last thing that I am not going to start this month, but that's coming up in the pipeline, is I have some Leading Men Fiber Arts in the Raspberry Parfait base. This is their Soliloquy base. Raspberry Parfait colorway. This is their Soliloquy base, which is a fingering weight that's 657 yards per 150 grams. It's actually the same color as I'm wearing right now.
It's actually pretty color accurate on camera right now.
So it's the same as like my Harry Potter shirt. I am going to knit a pattern called Mount Pleasant, which is a cropped sweater. It's got like a lace, so it's a cropped top-down raglan with some lace detail. It calls in my size for around 800 yards of a fingering weight. I have 1,314 yards. 1,314 yards, yes? Yeah. So, to swatch for this garment, which is knit in the round, I am going to knit a baby...
Sweater?
Well, a barley light hat.
Oh, it's a hat. Okay.
Yeah, in the newborn size, which uses around 100 yards. So it'll be decent size, and that'll give me both the garter and the fingering stitch gauge pretty accurately, hopefully. Fingers
garter
crossed.
And fingering or garter and stockinette?
Garter and stockinette, thank you. And I'm using size 4 needles to knit this. So originally this was planned to wear at Steve's retreat, but I don't know that will happen in time. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It will be fun. Either way.
If not, you could be knitting on it at the retreat.
I think it will be really good retreat knitting.
That's the other dog.
Wondering where Buffy is. So those are the things on my needles. I didn't bring Even Star because I just knit like around on it. And you guys didn't need to see that. But you finished some stuff, right?
I finished a thing.
A thing.
So last week we talked about how I realized that I knit Even Star with the sleeves wrong side out, and apparently most of the people who watched the show realized that and just thought I was making that decision intentionally. Not the case. I just didn't read, or didn't read carefully enough, because clearly I read it because I needed to look to see how many stitches to pick up, but I just didn't read it.
I think that's
enough.
like a common error of the two of us.
So what I ended up doing was I unpicked the cast on, or where I picked up with a new ball of yarn, where I picked up to knit the sleeve downward.
Or you picked up the stitches to knit the sleeve.
So I just turned the sweater inside out and just carefully unpicked that, and that took a little bit. And after I had unpicked it, I had the sweater and then a separate sleeve with live stitches. Yeah. So what I did was I took a set of needles and went down about 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches, and picked up a row's worth of stitches because it was already too long.
Yeah, the arms were too long.
The arms were too long, correct. So
spoiler, they're still too long.
So I picked up that row, and then I pulled out everything above the row where I'd picked up and put the stitches on a needle. I pulled that out, and it actually did unwind very easily. I didn't think it would, but it did. Another case of me being incorrect, which happens daily.
You're fine.
But so then I had to figure out, so I had the stitches or the sleeve on a needle. Yeah. And I needed to figure out how to graft it to the body. So I had stockinette stitches that were going this way, and then purl stitches that were going this way, and I had to figure out a way to connect the two in a way that didn't look slapdash. So I tried a couple of different options, and I would only seam like a quarter of the sleeve, and then I would sort of look at it and then figure out whether I liked it or not.
So you could have picked up the stitches again, knit around, and then Kitchener the two together.
That is what I did.
Oh, cool.
So I tried several different versions of like a mattress stitch and several other things, and nothing looked right. And so I don't mind grafting or Kitchenering. It doesn't bother me. On something this large, like with a gauge this large, I knew I would probably have to go back and sort of tweak that row, like go back and pull until the stitches were all even.
Mm-hmm.
But what I ended up doing was I took the yarn that I had pulled out from that extra 1.25 inches, and then I used that to cast on, to pick up the same number of stitches around the sleeve, and then I knit one row, and then did like you would Kitchener a toe.
Yeah.
The same exact process.
Because that's going from stockinette
to stockinette, right? And it makes a seamless join.
Yeah.
So, and that row was a little wonky tension wise, so I did have to go back and sort of clean it up, and it did add extra ends for me to weave in, just because I cast on to pick up, and then but it was worth it.
2 extra ends. Yeah. Good.
It took forever to weave in all the ends, and I kept weaving in ends on the purl side instead of the stockinette side, because in my brain the stockinette side is the right side. But I worked on it both Monday night and Tuesday night and finally got it done. So it's now complete.
Yay! Finished sweater.
It's got all kinds of crap on it, like hair. So you can see
Buffy's legit underneath my chair.
I'm impressed she could fit under there.
I am too.
So this is at the end result, what it finally looks like. Here, let me put my arm in here, and then
you could take off your squarish and try that on.
I could, but so this thing is mirrored, so I have to. This is what that row looks like, and keep in mind this is like super up close, so you can see every little like imperfection. But if I
and
hold
you
it,
haven't washed it, right?
I haven't. So this is cotton, so it really needs to be washed in the washing machine and then put in the dryer.
Yeah.
And I haven't done that. I just did a simple like soak and then laid it out. So it's not really a block, because that's not how I will treat this sweater. Because it's cotton, so it can be washed.
And I rolled up the sleeves on it because I tried it on yesterday.
Yeah. So, once you hold it back a little bit, you can't even really tell that.
I think it looks great.
Well, I can't. And if you can, then just don't tell me that you can. So, I'm happy with it. I'm glad that I went back and did the extra work of finishing it, because I do still like this slip stitch detail down the front. God, I don't know where this thing is picking up all this, like, hair I can get, but like these random little fuzzies I don't understand. Anyway, so finished sweater, yay for me. I can count it towards stash and whatever my goal.
How is your goal?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Haven't done any counting of yardage, so I'll do that this weekend, and then whatever I make will be what my goal was.
That's
because I'm a dirty cheater.
Stash. For sure. A lot of people do that way.
Yeah.
I have a finished baby hat. So the baby hat that I knit last week out of Another Crafty Girl is finished. It looks like this.
Oh, yeah.
And this has lines, very distinct lines of decreases, this pattern, which is basic baby hat. So you do like an SSK and a knit two together, lined up. Do them like every 5 stitches.
That's kind of how Jared Flood's like recommended swatching. It's a square, not a star, but it's that same like increases and decreases, so you can see how everything behaves.
Yeah.
I like the look of it. It's very clean.
Yeah. And I like the little hat. I think it'll be perfect.
How much do you have left of that yarn?
Oh, enough to do at least 2 more.
Cool.
So, and I had already done one hat out of it. I had done a woolly worm head baby hat out of it. So, yeah. Set that aside, and I'll do some more hats out of that for sure, because I like how it looks. It's very like lemon sherbets, lemon raspberry sherbet. Yeah, Mana mana. Do, 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 do. The colorway is do, 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 do. And it's from another crafty girl, and I knit it on size 6 needles? I'll
Seems
say
about
6.
right for you.
Yeah. Maybe 5s because I knit them on 5s because Madeline wanted to try my needles and she was on 4, so I had to switch down. So, not bad. It's a DK weight yarn. It's a single ply. So, that is done. That can go in the baby gifting box. And then I'm just going to jump right into my spinning so then Leslie can talk for a while. I finished the singles of my
Happy thank you.
Happy Thank You yarn.
I'm excited to see how this comes out.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it applies too. So I'm hopefully going to apply that this weekend. It's got some rust, some purple, some light robin egg blue, some like scrummy green. So I'm excited to see how that plies up. I do think I spun one bobbin thicker than the other, but it will be fun.
Yep.
And then that's the difference between before school starts back and then after. And then what I have on the wheel right now is this is the monthly bat club from Knit Spin Farm. It's called Whirlwind Romance. It came with all these little batlings.
Is that this month?
No, this was...
Oh, I was going to say, I don't remember getting that one, but I don't think I was in the club at that point.
It was June.
Oh, maybe
Like
I left
last
it at your
month.
house.
You might have left it at my house. I don't know what you did with it. I gave it to you.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
So this has, all of these are light gray and then dark gray with a color sandwiched in between. And some Sorry Silk and Silk Oil and Angelina in there too. So I already spun a blue and a purple and like a darker than this pink.
And then you've got like a sort of a peachy.
Yep. And then like a lavender.
Yeah.
And then this dark pink. And I'm spinning it worsted, even though it's a woolen prep. And I'm going to chain ply them.
Oh.
Yeah. So that is what I'm spinning on. But you finished some spinning, right?
Again, the same spinning as I finished last week. Yeah, so it took several days of me plying on my match list to get all of the 4 ounces of bats from Hip Strings replied. Last week I talked briefly about how I somehow plied them in the same direction that I spun them and didn't notice until I wound it off onto the Swift and took, and tied it and everything, and then when it came off I was like, oh yeah, that's a problem, because it basically would not have any strength because there's no twist to it at that point basically. So
there's lots of twists. It's just going the wrong direction.
Well, yeah.
The 2 singles would not hold together. But they came out pretty.
So I actually had to run it back on the match list back through in the opposite direction twice to get enough twist in it because I had super twisted it the first time. So the first time back through in the other direction, I was basically getting it back to where it was before I started. And then the second time I was able to get it to a decent twist. So this is Hip Strings, and I don't remember if it had a colorway name or anything. It was just 2 little mini bats, 2 ounces each. So it was 4 total ounces, and I got 530-ish yards. This poor tortured skein.
It looks really pretty.
It's pretty, but it's been handled so much for a woolen. Like,
can I see?
Yeah. So
that's still lofty.
It's pretty, and it's relatively thin for what I normally spin.
It's very thin for what you
so
spin.
I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty. Do you have plans for it?
No, I'll just squirrel it away.
Be
until
great for weaving, I bet.
the perfect pattern comes to me.
Be really pretty for weaving.
Yeah. I want to spin some Joanna Spring next, because all of her fiber, well, in the Bat Club comes prepped woolen, so I want to spin some of hers woolen next. But yeah.
Cool. And you have my bobbins and everything?
I do. They're downstairs, so I want to make sure that you get them before you leave. I put them aside. 2 of the Maja Craft bobbins.
Yep.
So that's it.
That's it. I'm
That's all.
just started, for what we're reading, I just started reading The New Kid, which is a graphic novel about a boy who is starting a new school and is a person of color, and some microaggressions that he faces, as well as just the normal things that happen when you go to a new school.
Mm-hmm.
So I just started. It's really good so far. It's an important read. So I am reading The New Kid.
I am rereading The Night Circus.
You have a new one in that series coming out soon, right?
October. Erin Morgenstern, who wrote The Night Circus, that's her only book that's out. It was her debut novel. And then, and that was years, 5+ years ago that it was out, maybe 10+ years ago. And so she has a book called The Stormless Sea, which is coming out in October.
Is it revisiting the same world? Or
I
is it totally different?
don't know. I just pre-ordered it. I don't care. I'm if her books are anything like The Night Circus, I will love them.
The new one, yeah.
So, yeah, I finished the last in the Hidden Legacy series, that short one with Catalina, and that was an Ilana Andrews, which is a husband-wife paranormal romance team, male-female romance. It's good. It's interesting. It was definitely told from a different point of view than the other books, but not necessarily in a bad way. So we'll see what the next book holds, and that comes out next week, right? Or is that the Innkeeper? No, the Innkeeper came out already. I read that one.
It comes out on Tuesday,
Yeah.
I believe. I have a couple of books coming out this Tuesday. It's very exciting.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Cool. Stash Dash goes on for another few days, so you've got a couple
From
days
now.
to get stuff in. And then the Hearts and Hands Baby Layette project is something else that we're going to
We'll be talking about as we
in.
knit the items for it. I need to bring my ball winder from Laura's house. It's been there since SSK, and Laura's very subtly put it in a box by the door, and it's been there for like 2 weeks in a box by the door for me to get.
2 weeks, like a month and a half
But
at this point.
it's only been a month since SSK. But I just haven't. Every time I leave her house, I've got too much crap in my hands already. So,
yeah.
Yeah. Because
So,
I need to wind some. I want to wind another crafty girl and do some little hats.
Good. We have Knitting at the Estate coming up September 20th, I want to
The third
say?
weekend in September.
Maybe it's the 17th. I have it in my phone. I've already requested off from work.
Knitting at the Estate is a retreat that's run by Steve of Dramatic Knits / Leading Men Fiber Arts.
Yeah,
this is
and
the first
Andy.
year.
Yeah, it starts the 19th.
Okay, yeah, so
and
it's the third weekend.
They have sign-ups for massages.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I signed up for a massage.
I'm not a big fan of other people touching me in general.
Friday night.
Like, hugs are okay, but,
So I'm
extended
excited about
rubs
that.
are discouraged.
And then the Vicksburg Yarn Festival is the 21st, 22nd, 20th, 21st, no.
It's the next one.
27th,
Yeah.
thank you.
Fiber
28th,
Fun in the
29th.
SIP,
Oh my goodness.
which is Vicksburg, Mississippi.
So, Leading Men is 19, 20, 21, 22, and then Fiber Fun in the SIP is 27,
The next
28,
weekend.
29. Thank you. Yeah. We're good. So, we'll see if we can make it there. I don't know. Holly was going to drive, but she's now got Parents' Weekend for her son's college, which is way more important, and we totally understand. So.
I don't. I blame Holly.
As you should. I think that's it for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm on call, so I have somebody watching the phone while we record. That was a fun conversation to have to explain why I needed somebody
Was
to
it
watch
not
the
Alan?
phone. No, it was Alan.
Okay.
Somebody I've known for ages. One of Michael's best friends from growing up. He works in the same department I do. Anyway, yeah, that's it. So, even though we had a lot to show, we got through it pretty quick. So, we hope you guys have a lovely weekend and closing of Stash Dash 2019.
Yeah, and then the following weekend will be Labor Day, so Jess will be coming to visit, which will be super fun.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll make her record stuff.
Maybe. We'll
she
see.
hates that.
But you guys have a great weekend, and we will talk to you next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.